What's good, y'all? This is your boy, Mr. Cheap Sense here. Just getting in from my day job. Don't have to work tonight. Thank God I'm off from both jobs tomorrow. Maybe I can get a little rest. But before that, I do want to talk about the fragrance that I wore today. I posted it early this morning, and it is from the house of Bvlgari, and it is actually one of my favorites. Probably my number two, possibly three fragrance that I like from that house, but from this particular line, it's my number two. I have one that is a little bit better to me in smell and performance, which is Aquamarine, but I was able to find this one because there was a little buzz going on a while back about this fragrance. It was popping up a lot at discounters, and I wanted to find it and I couldn't, and finally I found it in Jacksonville, Florida at a TJ Maxx or a Marshall's, one of the two. Marshall's, I think, is what it was. And this one actually was like $45, I want to say, which is the average for this. You may be able to find it cheaper, but for the most part I have it, and it is the Aqva Atlantiqve from Bvlgari. And I really like this fragrance. It does have a similar vibe to another particular fragrance, which is one of the things that we've been talking about in the fragrance community for a little while now, especially me and my guy Trey Sense. Just everything has the vibe, or it reminds you of something else. And this particular fragrance, if you're not familiar with this one and you want to know what it's similar to, if you have or have smelled Versace's Dylan Blue, then that is the vibe that you get when you wear something like this. It's a blue fragrance. It just doesn't have that sharp ambroxan type smell to it that Dylan Blue has. I like Dylan Blue. It's a pretty decent performer, but this can be overpowering if you spray on too many sprays. And it has happened. I've worn this around my kids the first time I got it, and they were telling me it smelled okay, but it was just too much. And I like to do 7 sprays of everything, depending. This one, on the other hand, you can spray as much of this as you like, and I don't think it would offend anybody. Perfect for a hot, scorching day like it is today. Kind of cool in the shade, but in the sun it was hot. I was sweating profusely. I can still smell it on my skin, but it's faint. It is there. I did spray my shirt, but I can't smell it coming off of my shirt because every time I walk behind the forklift I was driving, that the fumes and the exhaust coming off of that thing, it was just overpowering. But I got at least 5.5 to 6 hours out of this, longevity wise, up until I started walking behind that forklift and getting the exhaust on me. It probably would have went a little longer. I have reviewed this before, so if you want to go back and check out that review on this fragrance, then please feel free to do so. Now, a bit of a side note when it comes to this fragrance. This was released in 2005. And it was released as Aqva Pour Homme without the Atlantiqve. And then the new version, which is this version, came out in 2017. And they added the Atlantiqve to this. And also there's a note of sea amber, which was created to give this like a deep depth of the ocean type feel, if that makes sense. And that note is in the heart of the fragrance. Top notes, you're going to get bergamot, lemon, and it says vital water accord. And the top notes are very fresh, refreshing, citrusy, and I like it. Very watery. Let me go ahead and... yeah, it's just basically a more toned down version of Dylan Blue, if you ask me. It does have that kind of seaweed, that kind of beach water type vibe to it. It's not off-putting, but somebody probably would find that a little bit off-putting, but to me it smells great. That mid that I was talking about, that sea amber note, is what's in the mid. Base, you're gonna get woody tones of vetiver, patchouli, sandalwood, and benzoin. And I really like this fragrance, man. This is a very nice fragrance to have for the spring and summer months when it's going to get hot outside. You don't want to be walking around or at work wearing something heavy unless you're in a air-conditioned environment. I'm outside, so you're probably gonna see me wearing a lot more stuff like this, more aquatics, citrusy type fragrances, fresh stuff like that. When it's hot outside, you don't want to have nothing clawing on that's overpowering, or like you don't want to wear something like Invictus when it's hot outside. That's gonna choke people. You're gonna want to wear more fragrances like Dior Sauvage, which is more fresh. You can do something like Vibrant Leather by Zara. Mont Blanc Legend Spirit would be a good one to wear. Legend would be a good one to wear. Missoni is a pretty good fragrance to wear when it's hot. And there are a few others. I've already done a spring list, so if you want to check that out, go back and check that video out also. But yeah, that's about all I have for you all when it comes to this Aqva Pour Homme Atlantiqve. Very nice fragrance. If you have Dylan Blue and you don't want to have something with a similar vibe, then I don't suggest picking it up. But if you're looking for something that's a little less expensive than you would pay for this, which this you can find in a gift set at like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, places like that around the holidays. But if you're not one of those type people who like to go on eBay and all that kind of, I don't too much deal with eBay and all that, but you may be able to find it on there for a decent price. I did see it on, I think it was an eBay website. I looked up the price and it was like 45 and some change, 44, 45, something like that. Not too bad, but I know a lot of people don't want to spend that kind of money to smell good. There are a lot of fragrances out there that are more inexpensive than this that you can go with for spring and summer. But this is a nice one. And I suggest if you do find this at your local Belk's, I don't know if Ulta would have this. I know Belk's has these laying around. Go in, test them out, spray them on the tester strip, spray it on your skin, however you want to do it, test it out, and see what you like. This particular line is very nice. I have 3 different ones in which there's a debate about one of these, being that it's said that it's not really a summertime type fragrance or spring. I get that. This one is very controversial. A lot of people don't like it. I don't see what's not to like about it. Some people say it smells like rotten eggs. Others say it smells like, other stuff. I don't really get that. This performed pretty well off of my skin. I like the scent of it. It's just not top 3 when it comes to the 3 that I have. But I do have, like I just did, Atlantiqve, Aqua Amara, and Aquamarine, which is actually my favorite from the line. This one got me crazy compliments, and I wish I could find this in a bigger bottle like this one, because these are 2 different sizes, if you can tell. It's a little smaller. But if I can find this one in a bigger size, I'd be ecstatic. But check them out, y'all. If y'all find any of these fragrances, at least give them a chance. Check them out. If not, I understand. More for me. With that being said, I am out of here, y'all. Here's to smelling great. Peace.